Me. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we're live. It is part 5 of our quest for 100,000 views on with the Old Humble Distilling Company. I am the Old Humble Guy. This is the Old Humble Distilling Company's channel. I am the primary spokesperson and owner of the Old Humble Distilling Company. We make delicious whiskeys, as you can theoretically at least see over my right shoulder. Yeah, there we go. Delicious whiskeys. And we also have a YouTube channel, and this YouTube channel, well, let's show the title screen real quick, and then let's get at it. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, welcome to part 5, which is us focusing on doing what's best for you. Probably the best piece of advice I ever got with regards to building a YouTube channel and putting content on your YouTube channel and doing all that stuff is do what works for you, do what works on your live channel, do what works on your channel, etc., etc., etc. Some of the absolute worst advice, without question, the absolute worst advice I ever got was to go find a trend and do a video on that trend. I am, as you can clearly see, whoops, I'm not a fashion plate. I don't exactly I'm not going to do fashion trends, clearly. I am not going to do a makeup trend. If you want a beautification secret from the Old Humble Guy, I am going to tell you to start with 3 shots of whiskey. That makes anybody look better, or at least it makes you think you look better. Just kidding. That's not how to drink responsibly, and I wouldn't. Oh, farts. Speaking of drinking responsibly, I left my coffee in the kitchen. That's depressing. That is a heartbreaking thing to know that you've done that. You leave your coffee in the other room. But the silver lining behind that is that I know I'm going to have coffee waiting for me in the other room. So there's that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm also not a YouTuber who will. Oop, there's my audio monitor right there that is working. I'm not the type of YouTuber that will simply put on a show, turn on a show, and then people will flock just to see me do whatever it is that I do, because I do not have the assets or breast sets to just simply attract eyeballs. So I have to be entertaining and work for a living. Que sera, sera. That's just how it goes. In fact, I probably would get more people subscribing and donating money to put clothes on than to take clothes off. And that's just going to be the nature of my channel. It's never going to be a channel that does that type of stuff. But the best advice that I've ever gotten, like I said, the best advice I've ever gotten is do what works for you. And the hard part, of course, is finding out what works for you, because you don't know what works for you. You don't know what works for your channel. You don't know what works until you start making content. And you'll cast around for a few months, maybe longer, few weeks, few months, few days, maybe even a few years to find something that works. And when you find the thing that works with it, that lends itself well to your personality, that lends itself well to your style, that lends itself well to your technology, that lends itself well to your comfort level and your comfort zone, then you do that. You should do that, and you should replicate it and do more of it. And that's basically what we talked about last week. Was basically those first 3 stages, 3 or 4 stages of building your channel. First, get started. Second, was learn your skills, and then grow your skills, and then transition your content. I think that was somewhere in the neighborhood of what those pieces of advice are. I can't find my notes from last week, but that's fine. And that's kind of how you find your voice and how you kind of go through the process of becoming of building a channel and doing what's comfortable. Because first you need to figure out what you do, and then you figure out how to do it better. And I'm kind of in that phase right now where I'm still figuring out what we do, but I'm also figuring out how to do it better kind of at the same time. Because you don't have to finish one step before you move on to the next step, unless you're talking about like monetization, because then you kind of do have to finish first steps. But let's get to um, the part in the show where we can look at the things that we did already. Uh, February's in the can, um, and I'm going to fire up our visual aid, and we're going to look at February. February was I'm going to go ahead and say it. February was a fantastic month. Last two, we did not hit the highest peak that I was hoping for. But we did get 783 views in the month of February. Um, I was hoping for the best month ever in the month of February. My screen is capturing my, where's my cursor at? There it is. Um, I was hoping for what I could call my best month ever materialize, unfortunately. But what did materialize was the second best month ever. And we're still dropping frames due to rendering. That's not pleasant. I don't like that. Um, but that's what happens when I am trying to. I'm going to expand this screen down here on the bottom left a little bit so that I can actually talk with my hands a little bit more effectively. Move this over a little bit more because my left hand is getting cut off. See, this is the effort that I'm going through to learn how to do better, do what I do better. Wow, it's widescreen that way. Actually, no, it's not wide. It's just short because I cut off the top. It's not so, but I do want it to be a little bit shorter. Anyway, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay. Anyway, so here's what we did in February. This was all of our traffic sources. That spike in the middle was one short, 113 views that we did. It was one short that we did, and I don't really count. I mean, I count the views from the shorts, and we'll talk about shorts next week or the week after. That's an important. It's an important aspect to getting views for your channel, but it is a different aspect than your normal videos that you normally make. And I'm going to talk about that later, but right now the project that I'm working on is specifically to build your channel to get more views and more traction for your channel. Shorts are relatively easy to, you can get 100 views on a short fairly easy. That's not that hard to do. At least I don't think it's that hard to do. Most of my, I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't imagine it's that hard to do. You can get 50, 25, 50, 30, 75 views fairly easy because it goes into that short feed and it just kind of cycles through. All your subscribers see it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But specifically, I was looking at traffic sources and traffic sources to my channel and views from various traffic sources. Those are the specific projects that I'm comparing from this year to last year, and this month to last month, and that was the specific project. And when I look at the improvement from February 2022 to February 2021 and compare this year to last year, I did remarkably better across all of the metrics that I was trying to measure. The search function, the homepage feature, the browser feature, and the channel page. All three of those functions, we did well, and I was very, very satisfied with that. And then if I compare there's views by traffic source. So views by traffic source, that one spike there was shorts. But browse feature, channel page, YouTube search, and suggested videos. Those four are the ones that I was most interested in. So we'll check those off. YouTube search and suggested videos. Those four, and because we didn't have a short at this time last year. So I'm not really comparing that traffic source to the other traffic sources. This is important for me was to compare likes to like sources to like sources from period to period. And then if we look at that, we can see it kind of stays steady, but there's a distinct rise. Um, there's a peak here in the middle from a couple of shows that we did early in, but there's uh, when I actually look at the data, it kind of rises a little bit, but it rises right here in this little hump area. That's kind of what I was really interested in. Was there was this kind of a swell of overall general interest right there in this third week when I started this project. This was like a week after we started the project. We started the project right here. There was a definite spike, and then there was a general swell, and then you can see the spikes here are basically where I did shows. And that's something I wanted to dig into a little bit deeper as we went forward into March, because one other thing that I noticed is we got more. Let's do the year over year, February versus February, and then I'm going to pop in a bar graph and actually see in fact, this is going to show me the bar graph. It's going to show the difference between this is February 2022 on the one side and February 2021 on the other side. And you will see it's about a five-fold increase all the way across the board. So we did really good year over year. Not so good when I look at February versus January. Um, and if I pop this open on this side, we'll see January come up. And January, we didn't do much better than, we did better than January, but not much better than January. And part of the function that I did better in February versus January of 2020, getting a phone call, they'll have to wait. Part of the function of doing better in February versus January was simply having more shows. I didn't get more views I got marginally more views per show, but I also had more shows in February than I did in January. And that was another thing that was educational to me. We are having hardware problems. That's going to be another thing that I talk about, upgrading my hardware. I've upgraded settings across the board and improved performance across the board, but also upgrading hardware, improving hardware. I need to get and there we go, drop frames due to encoding lag and rendering lag. I'm going to reset that. But that's going to be an important upgrade going forward, especially when we start doing our concerts in April. I need to get a better soundboard, and I'm going to need to improve our video rendering. And I think I have the solution to both of those things. So here's the difference between January 2020 or February 2022 here in the light blue and January in the purple. It's a marginal improvement. It's not an insignificant improvement. Like 25% improvement is not bad. Very happy about that. Same thing here, about 20% improvement on the channel page, about 15% improvement. No, that's about about 15% improvement here on the YouTube search. And then in the suggested videos, actually that's about 10% on the search, and about 25%, 30% improvement in the suggested videos. So we had a fairly good uptick from January to February. Marginal, good to marginal, but not nearly as good as the year over year uptick. So the early results are in. We did much better in February of 2022 than we did in February 2021. We did better in February 2022 than we did in January 2021. I'm going to be on vacation for a week in March, so I don't expect March 2022 to be remarkably better than February 2022 because my February 2022 was also 3 weeks because I got started basically on the 6th. But I think my February 2022 is going to, or my March 2022 is going to will be better than my February 22. I'm just not sure how much better. Also, I'm not going to be able to do as many shows in March as I did in February. Now, all that said, keeping on the theme of the show of what works best for you, what I found in, we'll close this. Moose Gal's in the house. Cheers, Moose Gal. So what I found when I was looking at the data per show in February is most of the shows did about on par. I had a couple of shows that worked well, and this is another thing when you're talking about doing what works for you, doing what works well for your channel, doing what works, what connects well with the audience. I had 3 shows that connected very well with my audience in February with the show when we were talking about what the hell's going on in Ukraine, the 2 flat Earth shows where we talked about the origins of the flat Earth theory and the math behind the math. You know, because I hand waved in the flat Earth show the math that confirms that we know that the Earth is round. And so I did another show talking about how we know the Earth is round. This is the actual math, and I showed it on a whiteboard. Here's the actual math. Um, Slight science content in that show that seemed to get a little bit of traction. And then the third show that got good traction, there was Ukraine, flat earthing, and then uh, the trivia show. The trivia show got really good traction. We got a fairly decent audience for the trivia show. So I'm going to, and that was a 2-hour long show versus the 1 hour happy hours. So what I'm going to do this month is I'm going to do a couple more trivia shows. I mean, the data don't lie. And I had fun doing the show. It lends itself well to my talents. I'm going to tighten up the format a little bit because this last show I was just like, oh, I'll ask trivia questions. Well, fuck, I'll do it. This time around, I will tighten up the format a little bit, maybe do like 2 rounds or 3 rounds so that we'll have an A winner and a B winner, and then maybe do head to head for those 2. Uh, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but we will do 2 more trivia shows in the month of March. It's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. Y'all are going to enjoy it. We'll be able to give away some merch, maybe some hats, maybe some T-shirts, maybe some kind of old humble tchotchkes. It'll be uh, uh, and then maybe once a month, we'll do like a tournament of champions type of thing where the people with the highest points compete for a bottle of whiskey. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I want to figure out a way to do something like that where we can maybe quarterly, where we have like 4 or 5 people on a panel and we do a proper. Uh, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I want to do something like that. It'll be fun, and it's a great way to engage as well in a live show with an audience, as opposed to just monologuing. But Moose Gal's in the house. Cheers, Moose Gal. Thanks for joining. You are here on our this is the live series that I started a few weeks back, where the Old Humble Distilling Company is on a quest for 100,000 views because I noticed this one curious little fact that the FDA hates. One curious little fact was that we weren't growing our audience, and when I looked back into the history of the channel, we weren't really growing our views either. Most of our views came from like 2 or 3 shorts and just a couple of videos. Really, most of our views came from probably 4 videos out of our 40,000 something views. Most of them came from 4 videos. So I was like, we need to do something about this because if I'm going to have live music on my shows, um, or live music broadcast on Saturdays or live music broadcast on Fridays, which, by the way, we're going to start doing in April. We're going to start having live shows broadcast from the distillery starting in April on Friday nights. Super duper excited about that. But that announcement will be coming in a couple of weeks. What was I talking about? Oh, if I'm going to have those bands and those performers, I want people to see those bands and those performers. And $100,000 is a nice round number. It doesn't mean, or 100,000 views is a nice round number. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean anything. It could be 65, it could be 25, it could be 80,000. Well, it has to be higher than 40 because we're starting at 40. Started in February with 40, so if we hit 60,000, that'll actually be a significant improvement in the number of views we get in a year. 50,000 would be a significant number, a significant improvement in the number of views we get in a year. If you take out the views that we get from shorts, because I believe the number of views we get straight from our videos that are not shorts was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 500 a month. And if we look at the views, on our, yeah, let's pop over to the visual aid real quick. If we look at the views, it says right here, typically in a month, we're 783 is 30% higher than we normally get in a 28-day period. So that's what, 30% higher. 783 is 130% of 500 or so. Sounds about right, right? Because 30% of 500 would be 150, so that'd be 650. So yeah, 30% of 500 would be 650. So somewhere in the neighborhood of five to 600 views per month is what we normally get. And this is, like I said, a dramatic increase. And what I don't want to have happen is my increases come solely from doing more shows, because I don't have enough time in a day to just simply do 5 shows a week. I don't have time to do that shit. I also don't have time in a day to do uh, pre-recorded, edited, uploaded shows. I just don't have enough time in the day. I've got to make whiskey. I've got to bottle whiskey. I've got to do stuff. Um, there's a dog barking outside. My dog just heard that dog barking outside. So we're probably about to get an incident. Yeah, you good? In fact, it sounds like more than just a dog barking outside. It sounds like a dog fight. Is it? No, we're good. Okay, everything's good. Okay, so but yeah, that goes back to the topic of do what works best for you and your channel. Uh, for my particular set of skills and my particular amount of time, here he comes. These dogs will not shut up. Somebody's walking their dog. That's what's happening. Somebody's walking their dog and another dog is barking at it. Anyway, my particular set of skills, my particular amount of time that I have available is ideally suited for live chats, live streams. There he goes. Hang on one second. I'm gonna mute and I'm gonna holler for my dog to shut up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Wally the distillery dog, right here. Say hi. Sit. 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 Good boy. Wally the distillery dog joining us in the house. I'm going to try and keep him in here and keep him quiet because he's a silly mutt. He's a good mutt, but he's a silly mutt. I'm going to try and keep him quiet for a while. You need to behave, okay? Um, anyway, so doing what works well for you means partly finding your niche, which I hate that phrase. I hate that phrase. 100% hate that phrase. But you find the style and type of show that works well for you. For me, my particular time, my particular talents, my particular skill set and technology set, live stream is where it's at. I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy interacting with chat. I enjoy just talking and chatting about current events and uh, different things going on, topical conversations. I enjoy them. They're fun. I like it. It lends itself well to my personality, my skill set, my talent. For other people, they want to do tool renovations or refurbishments or building things or whatever. I have no problem building things live on camera as I go through a day in the life of the distiller. That's kind of what I do. I have no problem opening the window to the shop and letting people peek in and see what I'm doing during the day. That lends itself very well to my time, my skills, my talents. It also helps that what I do during the day is somewhat interesting to people. Um, it helps them know what it is that I'm doing. It helps me connect with my audience. It helps humanize the distillery. I'm not just some factory in the middle of a field in Kentucky that uh, is could be a refinery in Pasadena on the east side of Houston. It is uh, it's humanizing and it's very much an open door policy. I want people to see what we're doing. That's how we become part of our community. Um, so, like I said, it lends itself well to my time and talents and skills. Moose Scout 4600 is not a bad deal, especially considering you've just most recently started. You know what? Let's go take a look at Moose Cow. I mean, you've just recently started uploading stuff with some level of frequency, if I recall. Oops, oop, wrong O. Moose Cow's Corner. There you are. I mean, you've got 331 subscribers. You have 46 videos and 4,600 views. That's like 100 views per. That's not bad at all. I mean, shout that from the rooftops. Bravo, girl. My first video that I uploaded, my first real video that I started posting was April of 2020. That's when I posted our first, I think it was our first happy hour video. It may have been some shorts or something, a short commercial type video for the rodeo. I can't remember exactly what the first video we uploaded was. Um, yeah, I think you're doing well on YouTube too. I don't think I was doing well on YouTube because I wasn't really trying hard to. I wasn't really trying hard to grow the channel, and then I was like, "Well, why isn't my channel growing?" Because I wasn't trying hard to grow the channel. So part of this series is me learning how to do the things that I'd always neglected and ignored doing since April of 2020. I've got something like 200 videos. I don't remember exactly. Um, 200. I have 189 videos on my channel. My 200th video will be coming sometime this month, I suppose. We should do a big special deal for our 200th video. Maybe I'll give away a flight of our whiskeys. Maybe I'll give away 3 little samples of our whiskeys. Maybe I'll do that. It'd be a cool gift, a cool little giveaway for people to get a little sample of each one of our whiskeys. Huh. Write that down so I don't forget. 200th episode or 200th video. 200th video special. Flight of Old Humble Distilling Company whiskey. Thanks for the idea, Moose Gal. You're awesome. I appreciate that. And see, here's the thing. When I was looking back at my old lives, I've got some really great interviews with some really interesting people that we did over the course of 2020 and into 2021. Those first 100 episodes of our uh, of our happy hours. That first 100 episodes, we had some great interviews. And then when I switched over to StreamYard, we couldn't do as many interviews because, for obvious reasons, StreamYard. I'll say it again, StreamYard, you're trash. You've been trash ever since the acquisition and merger. I am not happy with your service at all. Did not have this problem with y'all last year. But anyway, going back to my old technology, going to start using Zoom for the call-ins instead of Skype. In fact, I changed some settings on Skype. It may work better now after the last fiasco, but it doesn't matter. I'm working on that. That's part of the technology upgrades and corrections. When you try and upgrade things and it doesn't work, you got to go back to do the things that it does work. But where was it? But that goes back to the theme and the topic of do what works well for you. Oh, and I know what I was talking about. When I was looking at my old streams, we had a bunch of great interviews, and like I was saying, like nobody was watching the videos. I'd have like 25 views, 30 views, 40 views. Nobody was watching, and some of the and it doesn't change from the ones that we uh, pre-recorded and uploaded versus the ones that were live. They were pretty much the same. So it's not a question of the live versus pre-recorded. It was just I was doing a really piss poor job of marketing and managing the channel. But part of the project that I'm going to do in March is to go back to those old interviews, uh, update the keywords, update the SEO, do the stuff that I did in February, and start rolling it into previous videos that we did, and see if they'll get a fresh pop in the SEOs and on the search. Jeff with a G is a great interview. He's a fantastic guy, and he is. He's not only is he a good guy, he's also a super interesting guy, and he's coming up on 1 year in New York, so I should be due to get him on the show as soon as I can figure out the computer issues and get the interview stuff back up and working again. I will start doing more interview stuff. Um, but again, if I want to have interviews, if I want to have interesting people on the shows, I need to do a better job in marketing and expanding the reach of the channel, marketing the channel and marketing the shows. And part of that is do better with SEO, do better with keywords, do better with titles, do better with thumbnails, just do better with the front end of the shows. The next part of that project, of course, is to make better shows, do what works well for the channel, do what connects well with my audience. And so far, trivia, flat earth, and Ukraine, those are three topics that works well with my audience. I mean, y'all, I don't know, there's a polite way to say this. The polite way to say this is, there is no polite way to say this. Y'all a bunch of whores for free shit. I say free, people come and watch the show. I say interesting, people are like, oh, what's the interesting? I only watch two drunk people argue about shit they don't know anything about. Well, if you want to argue about shit you don't know anything about, if you want to watch drunk people arguing about shit they don't know anything about, this is not the channel to go to. Because generally speaking, I'm not going to talk about shit that I don't know anything about. And most of the time, you're not actually going to see me drunk. You may see me drinking. That's true. And most of the time, some of the time at least, that's actually alcohol. Some of the time, it's just tea. You'll never know which, because I usually only have one or two drinks on a show, and that is not going to be enough to, that's not going to be enough to intoxicate anybody, unless it's like a super tall drink. But that's not drinking responsibly, and we don't support irresponsible drinking on our channel. So, I don't disagree with you on that at all, Moose Gal. But also, I need to expand the reach of the channel beyond just a handful of specific communities. They've got their shows, they've got their audiences too, and that's fine. That's fine. They can. I'm good with that. And we cross over and we support each other, and we do things. And to be completely fair and honest, I don't go meandering around on YouTube very much either. Their shows are usually at the same time as my shows, so we kind of cross communities a lot. And I need to build my own community too. And that's one of the things that I've done a very poor job of over the last 2 years since April of 2020 is build my own community and market my own channel. I just added a Reddit forum, a subreddit for the Old Humble Distilling Company. I do a very poor job of promoting my channel and my shows on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and now Reddit. But here's the really cool thing. The people that I have coming to me on YouTube are indigenous to YouTube. They're not crossing over platforms. It's a very different voice on Twitter than it is on YouTube. It's a very different voice on Facebook than it is on Twitter. And there are generally not a whole lot of crossover communities between those three. So I never really was that focused on bringing Twitter and Facebook into YouTube. I'd rather get the YouTube audience to watch us on YouTube. And it works out, I think it's working out fairly well. I have 530 something subscribers, and we get fairly good engagement out of those 530 something subscribers. I watch most of these videos of people. A lot of the videos that I watch with people, they say, we're getting views from people who aren't subscribed. 80% of our viewers are not subscribers. I'm the other way around. 80% of my viewers are subscribers. Now, of course, I have to think about and consider how to convert or how to reach new viewers and how to convert new viewers into subscribers, because I can see, let's go back to my visual aid. I can see in the analytics in my audience, I can see how many new subscribers I get over the last, come on, subscribers. My audience will tell me how many new subscribers I had, or not subscribers, new viewers that I had over the course of February. So we had 394 unique views out of 783 views. So we had 394 unique views out of 780. 87 returning viewers, which is low. 394, which is up. And I got to figure out how to convert these unique viewers into returning viewers for the next show and the next show and the next live stream and the next live stream and the next live stream. That's part of my job, but that's also part of my job with the selling of the whiskey. I need people to come and try the whiskey and then come back and try it again and try it again and try it again. It's much easier to do with the whiskey, obviously, because the whiskey tastes good. But that's part and parcel of the function of making good content. This spike here in the middle of the week, that was a short. That was the short that we released in the middle of February. So see, unique views and returning views, a lot of these 115 people, they didn't come back. And that's the problem with shorts, which is something that we'll talk about in future shows. But, unique viewers for this was 2 shows we did on the 15th, 26 unique viewers here, 41 unique viewers here. These are shows that we had people come through and see 21, 21, 17, 24. Those were live streamed shows that people were able to see. This was not March 2nd, February 27th. So, because YouTube told him I went live. Yeah. And that it's a great way to get new people. It's a great way to be exposed to new audiences. And to be completely honest, based on my talent, my skills, and my time, and talent and skills are, by the way, 2 very different things. But based on those 3 things, that's what I do best. That's what we do. That's what I do best. I don't do pre-recorded shows very well. It feels stilted and inauthentic, and it's a challenge for me to do pre-recorded stuff, and then you got to edit that crap together, and I'm just not good at it. I could be good at it if I had more time to spend on it, but I'm just not good at it. I get to, I get the footage, and I get the footage, and I get to editing it. I've already recorded the footage once, so I know what happens, and I'm looking at the footage and I'm watching it again, and like, this is dreadful. And then I start putting it together, and after about the first hour or so, I'm just like, whatever, just slap some shit together, and I'm finished, and I'm out. I can't focus that much on a 30-minute video or an hour video or what. Now, it's entirely reasonable that I could take some of my long form game night videos that go 3, 4, 5 hours and trim those down into 30 minutes. But again, that's not part of my skill set. That's another thing that's going to take like 6 hours. And I just don't have time to do that sort of thing. I have time to do a live show for 6 hours, but I don't have time to then take that 6 hours and cut it down to 30 minutes. I don't have 12 hours. And I'd much rather have a 3-hour conversation with folks 3 times a week than one show posted twice a month, because that's how long it takes to put together the footage, put together the video, put together all that stuff. I think it's more engaging as long as I'm doing interesting stuff that we can engage with people. And I think that an open and honest discussion about how to get more views on your channel is something that is honest and engaging, and can get audience, even if it's after after the live stream. They can scroll through the stuff that's important and the stuff that's not important, or not. And at the very least, it's good for me to do it for my own accountability and for my own stuff. But that's a way to focus on the things that you do well. Like, for example, I'm not going to do a fashion show. I'm not going to do a makeup show. I'm certainly not going to do a hair show. May do something about shaving, but that's, like I was joking earlier that I could do something about cigars. Like I was joking earlier, if I do a beautification or makeup show, it's basically going to be take shots of this until you become pretty or they become pretty, and then you're done. Dun, dun, dun. You should absolutely go live for your birthday, Moose Cow. That is, I don't generally, I can't remember if I went live for my birthday last year. I don't generally talk much about it when I do it. Like, my birthday happens, and it's, something for Me. But you should definitely do it. It'd be fun. Have a party. Um, okay, so what we've done, you're right. Hashtags are a great marketing tool. So what we've done, uh, I've go back to my visual aids. I have used TubeBuddy. I've leveraged the TubeBuddy app. This is probably the best $50 I've ever spent to help with the marketing and reach of the channel. Come on, open up the stupid thing. But basically, the two most important things that I've used with these guys is the Keyword Explorer down here and the SEO Studio right there. These little guys, the upload of these little alerts from the TubeBuddy Pros, those I don't think I've ever watched any of those. Um, because and here's the reason that I haven't I haven't watched. Well, one of the reasons I haven't watched their videos is because I haven't had the time. Uh, it's not been and fast on my time. But the second reason I haven't watched their videos is I'm very wary of videos that just simply say, "Get more, do this, do that, get more views, get more subscribers, get blah 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 blah," without asking the question at the core of the advice being, why do you want to do this? Why do you want more subscribers? Why do you want more viewers? Why? And I used to think the same way. Like, I want more subscribers. I want to get monetized. Why do I want to get monetized? And then when I started thinking about it, like, I probably don't want to get monetized. Because monetization for me is not going to make a big damn difference. Because I'm a whiskey related or whiskey adjacent channel, I'm not going to get a whole lot of AdSense money. I'm not going to get a whole lot of ad revenues. I'm not going to get a whole lot of push because we're not advertiser friendly content. And I certainly don't want an advertisement for Jack Daniels or Chivas or uh, Budweiser or whatever coming up in the front of my videos before we do a live stream. That would be kind of silly. Like, here's the Old Humble Distilling Company. We make good whiskey and we make good times and we do good stuff. And oh, here's an advertisement for some shitty whiskey and some shitty beer. Enjoy. Um, so monetization isn't the end all be all goal for me specifically. Uh, and when I was sitting down and thinking about what do I want to do and why do I want to do it, most specifically, the question of what I wanted to do was going to be answered by the next question, which should be the first question of why do you want to do it? And the why do I want to do it has been, and will continue to be, to get more visibility for my brand, my artists, my guests, and my performers. That is 100% the goal of everything that we're doing, is to get more exposure for my brand right here, my artists, my performers, my guests. That's it. There's no reason to bring on uh, a nationally recognized NASA brain or a nationally recognized sideshow performer or a nationally recognized aerial performer like Emma Dilemma or a nationally recognized band or performer like the Chad Cook Band or John Evans or um, Pete Lippincott or Ryan Adam Wells or any of these other people. There's no reason to bring these people on if nobody's going to watch them. And there's no reason for them to come on if nobody's going to watch them. So 100% of my goal is to make sure that we get eyeballs on those people. And of course, eyeballs on these people, my people, me. Um, because I can slip a commercial for my stuff into my shows anytime I want to. I don't need 1,000 subscribers for that. I mean, it'd be great to have it just to show that I have it, but the purpose of having it would be simply to have a trophy on the shelf. There's no reason, there's no specific purpose to have 1,000 subscribers any more than 500 or 1,500 or 800 or whatever. There's no specific purpose to the number. Just like there's no specific purpose to 100,000 views. 100,000 views is a pretty number that looks good in a title screen. That's why I picked 100,000 views. Back to chat real quick. Moose Gal, I'm sorry I wasn't ignoring you. But yes, using the TubeBuddy tool to go back to my visual aid real quick. Using that TubeBuddy tool with the Keyword Explorer to give me a chance to, and I did this a couple of episodes back where I actually went through and explored the keywords for the videos that I was doing in order to arrange my words in a way that were searchable, good search, good search threads. So, for example, the title of my happy hours. I made a subtle change to the title of my happy hours from the Old Humble Happy Hour to the Whiskey Happy Hour with Old Humble. Because Whiskey Happy Hour was a more searchable phrase, more searched phrase than Old Humble Happy Hour. Old Humble, you search Old Humble, we come up first, like that. But when I was looking for the keyword explorers, of just having random people show up and find our show, Whiskey Happy Hour was a great way to do it. Whiskey Sour Happy Hour was another search that brought up. It's another show with Ed Helms. They do a musical thing, banjos. It's really cool. But that was what my research told me. I needed to change the title of my shows. So now my SEO is optimized for Whiskey Happy Hour and Old Humble. And then the topics are the next thing. When I have a topic on each one of the show, that's the next thing that I optimize for. So all my standard hashtags are already optimized for Whiskey Happy Hour based on our Keyword Explorer and the Keyword Explorer and the SEO optimizer, the SEO studio there. Taglines, tag list, video topic planner, those things are good to have. Click Magnet is a level of subscription that's above mine, so I don't have that either. But those are good things that to plan out your shows and stuff like that. I have a notebook for that that I help plan out my shows and all that stuff. So that is how we optimized our SEO. That's how we improved our search. That's how we got more people coming across us. We got more impressions. We got more views. We got more people stumbling across and finding us. The next thing that I need to do is make better shows that have more engagement. And looking back at the shows that we've done over the last month, one show is not an indicator, two shows is not a trend, three shows is what you're looking for if you see a bump in audience, focus on those topics more. Try to work in new topics, but keep coming back to the well for the stuff that works. And for me, the stuff that worked in February, trivia, Ukraine, flat earth. So guess what I'm going to do over the next 3 weeks? One of each. Probably do a Ukraine show tomorrow night because we've had a whole lot of development since at my last Ukraine show. And by the way, glory to Ukraine. We've had a lot of developments, and it would be interesting to kind of revisit that and see, where we go, or where we've gone to from where we were. Yeah, I like that. And then I've got some other interesting facts that we can observe about the world around us to know that the world around us is in fact a round world upon which we are on. And these are just like interesting facts that we see and we know intuitively, but like we don't really process what it means. We take a lot of things for granted in the world around us. And, like for example, you can't see Saturn from the southern hemisphere, or I'm sorry, you can see Saturn from the southern hemisphere, but it moves around the world. When you're facing toward Saturn, it moves from the left to right in the northern hemisphere. When you're facing toward Saturn in the southern hemisphere, it moves from right to left. There's a reason for that. And these are facts about the world around us that we just take for granted because we're not observant. We don't talk about that stuff. We don't think about that stuff, but we could. And and I've also said on the shows when we talk about the geography of Earth and the geometry of Earth, that it's not a debate. It is absolutely not a debate. It's a discussion, but it's not a debate. I am not going to debate flat earthers because it's not a debatable point any more than 2 plus 2 equals 97 is a debatable point. It's not a debatable point. I don't give a shit what you think the earth is round. Period. Done. That's it. That's the beginning and end of that debate. What do I think of YouTube Studio? I don't think of YouTube Studio. It is what it is, and it is outside of my. It's a good tool for information. I mean, that's the behind the scenes thing that it is what it is. I don't think of it. I literally don't think of it. It's just it's the car. You turn the key and you get in the car and you go. I don't think of it. It just is what it is. So there you go. And I get that. Moose Cow, you say you want to be monetized. I get that too. For a lot of creators on YouTube, they do. That's exactly what they want. They want to be monetized because you start making money off the monetization. Even if it's just a little bit of cash. $50 a month is not nothing. $5 a month is not nothing. $50 a year, that's a couple of tanks of gas. That's a nice dinner out. $50 a year, even if it is just $50 a year, it's not bad. That's something. I'll take it. You want to give me a $50 bill every December? Yeah, I'll take it. Sure. Gimme. But for me, my purposes, for the distillery's purposes, it's a tool. It's not the end all be all. It's not the focus of my effort because I am a whiskey maker who has a YouTube channel. I'm not a YouTube maker who has a whiskey distillery. That's the difference between the focus of my efforts. This is oh, by the way, we're also doing this versus we're doing this. And oh, by the way, I also do this. 100% different focus for me than most YouTubers. And a lot of YouTubers, for that matter, they're really apparel sales. They're t-shirt makers and sellers. They sell hats. They sell plushies. They sell logo garments, and their YouTube channel is basically in support of their apparel sales. They make content, but they're not content makers. Their content maker is, yo, Square Table Degenerates, what's up, my guys? They're content makers, but their content isn't what makes them money. What they use their content to sell the things that make them money. And that's kind of in the same boat that I want to be in. I want to make content that sells the things that actually make me money. I don't care if I ever get monetized. That may be a function of everything else. When I bring a band in on this Saturday, as a matter of fact, we're filming and broadcasting our music festival. We're not filming it, we're broadcasting it. In fact, I'm not even sure it's called broadcasting. We're streaming the music festival on Saturday. If 10,000 people watch it, 10,000 people aren't going to watch it. If 10,000 people watch it and we get a bunch of subscribers from that 10,000 people, great, fantastic. But if we get a bunch of subscribers out of it, that's fantastic. The whole point of doing that and getting people to watch it is to ultimately sell the brand. I enjoy doing it too. It's a great way to do it. Just like when I go to Specs or Total Wine and I'm standing behind a barrel and I'm feeding people my whiskey and giving them samples and they love my whiskey and they try it and they want to buy it. That's great. I'm not giving them samples because I love giving them samples. I'm giving them samples because I want them to buy my whiskey. I'm not being nice. I'm not like, oh, you look like a nice guy. Would you like to try some of my secret sauce? No, I'm there for a job and for a purpose. That's why I'm there. And it's not a cynical point of view. It's just it's the facts of the matter. Like you're welcome for the offer, but I'm offering it literally to everybody. And I don't not love giving the samples because it is actually kind of fulfilling to be interacting with people, giving samples, seeing that they like a thing that I made. It's fulfilling, but I would also rather be in the distillery making whiskey. This is fun to do. I enjoy doing it, but I would also rather be in the distillery making whiskey. And I get exactly what you mean, STD. I doing it for the love of the game. If we didn't enjoy doing it, we wouldn't do it. We shouldn't do it if we don't enjoy doing it. There are people who toil away for hours and hours and hours at a time for years and years and years at a stretch, doing jobs that they just hate. Um, they just don't like doing it, and they do it for the money, and they trade 40 years of their life for $200,000 in savings, or $500,000 in savings, or you work for what is it? You work from 20 to 65, and then you have $1.5 million in a 401k. So you just traded 40 years of your life, 45 years of your life for $1.5 million. Good job, bravo, great. um, you should at least enjoy doing what you're doing. I would hope that most people do work that they enjoy doing. Unfortunately, I know most people. Most people I know don't like get a whole lot of fulfillment out of the work they do. They do the work because it lends itself well to their skills and talents. Um, but yeah, like I said, if I don't expect to get, I literally don't expect to get anything out of monetization. And most people that I know who are monetized get a very small percentage of their overall channel income from the actual monetization. Most of their income comes from memberships, apparel sales, uh, and merchandise. That's where most of their income from channels comes from. Um, and, you know, I am so absolutely comfortable with that. Like, I don't care if even if we get, thousands and thousands of subscribers because, our uh, Friday nights live from the distillery, which will be starting in April. The announcement's coming next week, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks from now. Announcement's coming in 2 weeks. Friday nights live from the distillery. Um, if we start getting thousands and thousands of subscribers from our live music shows, great. I may never flip the switch on the monetization. I might. I might not. I don't know. The most valuable real estate isn't going to be the minute and a half or 30-second commercials that Geico puts on the front of the video. It's going to be the 2-minute commercial that I put on the video for my whiskey. Uh, that I put on the video for my whiskey at the beginning of each video. That's going to be the most valuable real estate for me. Um, ultimately, uh, yeah, exactly. So many people wake up completely miserable. I don't know of anybody that jumps out of bed on a Monday morning, or I don't know of very many people that jump out of bed on a Monday morning and they're like, yes, I get to go to work. Woo! They're all like, yeah, it's Friday. Great, fantastic. It's Friday. And I'm like, man, it's just another day at the office for me. I'm living the fucking dream. Oh, it's Monday. No, it's just another day at the office for me. I mean, I'm 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 broke as fuck, but I'm doing what I love. And eventually, doing what I love is going to pay off. At least that's the plan. Um, yeah, take risks and bring things that others aren't bringing, and that's 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 how you. I mean, that's exactly how you should do things. And a lot of people talk a good game about taking risks, and you know when you come to a fork in the road, make your own path and all that shit. But a lot of people, if given the opportunity, the stupid meme comes up, would you quit your job and live in this house for $1 million, but you can't leave for a month? They say they'd do it, but fact is, they would never. They would absolutely never. Like, would you sell everything you own, move across the country, and build a house, and build a homestead, and start a new job? Would you do that? Would you quit everything you have, move across town, and start a new job? Most people would not even take that small of a risk. Uh, and when I say most, I don't mean like 51%. I mean like 98% of people would not do that. Uh, and that's just a fact of life. That's just how it is. Um, I, our vacations are road trips where we always mix in an element of unknown. There's a left turn that isn't on the schedule. There's a place that we go that's not on the schedule. There's something that's not uh, but that's not planned. But even our road trips, you know, we know where we're at, we know where we're going, and we know when we need to be, where we're going by. The distillery is completely off the map for me, and it is a terrifying adventure of building a plane after you take off, stitching together a parachute after you've jumped out of it. And it's something that a lot of people don't have the uh, constitution, the fortitude to do. And to be completely honest, I don't know if I always have the constitution and fortitude to do it. There's a whole lot of doubt and self questioning and uncertainness that goes into building a business. Um, and you're never quite sure if you're a fucking idiot or a genius, because a lot of times idiocy and brilliance look alike. Um, you just never quite you never quite know where you stand. And one of the functions of our happy hours is that it's an extension of that, where I'm trying to build a community with the distillery. I'm trying to build a community, trying to build a happy hour type of thing. And one of the things I like about the happy hour shows is what we do is basically on our shows. Let's tip this down just a little bit. What we basically do on our shows is what we used to do in the bars, where you go to a bar, you'd order a drink, you turn to the guy next to you or the gal next to you and you go, "So, how about those?" And you just go from there and you'd start a fucking conversation. It just so happens that on our happy hours, we have a conversation that we do. So, I have a topical conversation that we work on each time I do the show. Now, I just don't have time to do 5 shows a week, but that's cool, and that's fine. We do the things that work for the show. And maybe your channel hits a limit, an upper bound, an upper limit. Maybe your audience hits an upper bound and an upper limit. Maybe that's just how it goes. Your niche is 5,000 subscribers. Your niche is 45 viewers. Your niche is whatever the hell it is. Lean into it. Go with it. Do what works for you. And then if you want to turn that crank and expand it further, then turn the crank and expand it further. But we made corn whiskey and bourbon, and I added a rye. We turned the crank and added something new. It's a different product and a different project, and um, it's fun and it's exciting and it's terrifying. And hopefully it will pan out that I'm not a complete and total muppet when it comes to making a business and selling whiskey. Hopefully, it'll turn out that I did the right thing of quitting my corporate job and moving forward. Um, but I'll know for sure in 2 or 3 more years when I'm either in debtor's prison or on Forbes. One of those two things will come out of it, and we will just have to see where it goes. Because I don't really think there's going to be a middle ground. I think I'll either be in debtor's prison or on Forbes. And that's just kind of how it works. Now, one thing I do want to show with my visual aids one more time before I start to wrap this up, one thing I do want to show real quick is in March, how things are going so far in March. We have 109 views since the beginning of the month. 2.5 thousand impressions, 2,500 impressions, 109 views, which means it's a click-through rate of 3.3%. That is above my average click-through rate. My average click-through rate has been about 2.5 or something like that. So my goal, part of this project, part of this $100,000 project or 100,000 viewer project, is to get the impressions up and the click-through rate up, because this is a hard and true fact. Talk to you later, STD. I'll be around, and I'll see you. I'll probably see you tomorrow night for the happy hour. We're going to start them up tomorrow night and go through the end of the week. But it's a standard sales funnel. You get people coming through the door. You engage with them. Some of them say yes, others don't. Of the ones who say yes, they buy. The ones that buy, they come back, and then you repeat that cycle again and again. So now you've got a base of people. You put them up here with the rest of the people that engage. That base of people with the people that engage, that should continuously expand the click-through rate. Now, For the first week, our views were down, just marginally down 5% versus the average. We generally get 100 to 125 views, 125 to 150 a week. I'll get that up this week because I'm going to have more shows. Last week I didn't do. I think I only did. I did a show on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I didn't do a show on Friday or Saturday. And I usually have one or two more shows. So I'll be able to address that this week. But the click through rate, I'm looking to improve improve the impressions that we get and the click through rate, and both of those are done. The first one's with the SEO and keywords. The second one is with better titles and thumbnails. That has yielded about 109 views, and half of those views are new, unique viewers, which again seems to be a lot to me. Half are unique viewers. I need to figure out how to stick half of these viewers back in to these to making them come back and get these to come back the next time. That's going to be the next part of the project that I'm working on, because I'm fairly satisfied with the growth in impressions, the improvement in click rate, and the growth in views. But I really, really, really want to get those unique viewers to come back through, and that means making better shows, getting better with the topics, getting better with the production, getting better with guests. So, looking back on February, looking back in previous months, what works, that's what we're going to focus on in the next 3 weeks. We're out of town for a week because of spring break, but the next weeks after that, this week, not next week, and then the 2 weeks following. Actually, let me look at the calendar for March, because I may not know what weeks we're doing stuff. In March, I've got 3 weeks of content remaining this month. So that's what we're going to focus on. That's what we're going to do. We have at least 1 or 2 Ukraine shows, at least 1 flat Earth show, and a couple more trivia shows that we're going to do this month. And then we will maybe even have prizes that we give out on those trivia shows. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'll just do like $20 cash prize to the winner. That would be cheaper than sending out a bottle of whiskey or a hat. That's what I could do. A $20 gift certificate. A $20 Old Humble Store gift card. So if you want a hat or a t-shirt, I'll send it to you. All you got to do is pay shipping. That'd be better. Or if you want a bottle, you get $20 off the bottle. I pay shipping, you pay, or all you got to do is pay shipping and the balance, which would be about $15, $35 versus $50. It's not a bad idea. Good job, Brita. Smart. 20 gift cert. Yeah. Yeah. Then you can win a couple of rounds and you get a bottle after you win like 3 rounds. And I'll send you a bottle of whiskey. I'm a fucking genius. Yeah. All right. That $20 Old Humble bucks. 20 Old Humble bucks. God damn. I'm so smart. I am so smart. Anyway, with that revelation of my intelligence, we're going to call it a day. Things are going. I'm satisfied with the progress of the $100,000 viewer quest. We are well on our way to hitting our next goal. Our next goal is going to be the best month ever, which is going to be 800 and I think it's 825 views. Should be the best month ever on our, I'm going to look this up real quick. Analytics, my analytics tracker, because of course you have to have a spreadsheet when you're doing these things, because if you can monitor it, if you can measure it, you can monitor it. If you can monitor it, you can manage it. 3 things, business school, douche speak there. Measure it, monitor it, manage it. The 3 M's of business school dick speak. Best month ever. So the goal is going to be 803. That is the best month ever. Is that the best month ever? Yeah, that's the best month ever. Not counting shorts, not counting outlying videos, not counting all that stuff. So the next benchmark is 800, actually 804. That would make it the best month ever. We are well on our way. Well on our way to that because we're at 100 so far. We're a little bit behind pace, but I feel confident that we'll be good. And then the next benchmark after 804 is, well, it's going to be 805. Really, the next best month ever. One more than the last best month. And then, so wherever we end up with this month, if we blow through 803, the next benchmark is going to be one more than that. I'm looking forward to the first 1,000 view month, based solely on videos and not shorts and ads and other stuff. And then, if we're on 1,000 views a month, hell, with 500 views a month, 600 views a month, we're already on a pace to blow away last year. But 1,000 views a month will be the next benchmark, the next hard number benchmark after, best month ever. And then that'll put us on a pace, not for 100,000 views in a year, but it'll certainly put us on a pace for the best fucking performance of the channel. And here's the really cool thing. From the views will come subscribers, and from subscribers will come more views. And then it starts to snowball effect as you continue to as you continue to grow and habitually do the things that are best practices for your channel. So once again, keywords, SEO, I can't stress this enough. Keywords, SEO, and better thumbnails, that are eye-catching, that are visually attractive, and you can kind of see them from the distance. The difference between good labels and less good labels. Good label, less good label. That's the difference between, good thumbnails and less good thumbnails. I don't have less good bottles of my stuff beyond the Roughneck Reserve, but that's, it's the same type of marketing principles with my product. My video is one that's going to be sitting on the shelf of the homepage, the browser feature. It's going to be sitting on the shelf. It needs to be able to stand out enough for somebody to be able to go, oh, that looks interesting, click on it, and then see my big old ugly face and go, what the hell's he talking about? And I need to be interesting enough to keep him around. That's the goal. That's the intention. That's what we're trying to do, and then continue to build that. So I guess it's too late to ask now. Like and subscribe for more videos and all that shit. Appreciate it, and da-da-da-da-da-da on all that stuff. I'm a terrible YouTuber. I should have a crawl across the bottom reminding people like and subscribe, and a little flashy thing up here, maybe like right here that says blah, 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 like and subscribe, blah, 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 like and subscribe. Or maybe it should be over here. Blah, 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 like and subscribe. Where would it be? Up here? Over here? Over here. Blah, 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 like and subscribe. Anyway, fuck it. Be awesome to each other. We will see you tomorrow night with Ukraine on my mind. Happy hour, and we will talk about what's on your mind too. Cheers and peace out. Be awesome to each other. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the 5th episode of our quest for 100,000 views on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment for more videos. We appreciate your support.